Dr. Sternberg. How nice to see you. Thank you for agreeing to meet me here.
Not a problem, Dr. Spearman. I always jump at the chance to travel through time and space.
So, have I missed anything in the 67 years I've been dead?
Not much. The Soviet Union collapsed, and Lindsay Lohan's having a slow nervous breakdown.
I hope she gets it together. She was so great in Mean Girls.
I know. As much as I like TMZ, that's not why I've come.
I figured as much.
Right. Well, I was talking to students the other day and I was discussing your work on what is intelligence, but I was hoping to get some more insight.
Well, first, I'm flattered to know I'm still be talked about. But to answer your question, allow me to start at the beginning.
Always the best place to start.
Thank you. Anyway, when I started my work, the field of psychology was abuzz with Lewis Terman and his IQ tests based on the research of Alf Beinat.
I didn't know he went by Alf.
Well, not everybody got to call him that. As I was saying, I looked at the results of these IQ tests and I noticed that a child who performed well on, say, a memory test, would also tend to perform well on reasoning and comprehension tests.
Right, you said, tend to. Were there ever any instances in which this pattern did not hold?
Great question, Dr. Sternberg.
Please, call me Bob.
A little informal, but okay. There were cases in which test results were not consistent across tests. Based on this, I concluded that there are two factors that make up intelligence.
Just two?
Yes. You have your general factor, or G, which affects performance on all tests, and a set of specific factors, or...
Let me guess. S?
Exactly, Dr. Bob. S. You have been doing your research. So, the S is the specific factor that may affect performance on a specific test.
That's a great summation, Chuck.
Dr. Spearman.
Right, sorry. As I was saying, great summation of your work, but I think you're looking at this all wrong.
I doubt that, but I'll bite. Go on.
I think the major flaw in your argument is that it doesn't allow for the possibility that a person's intelligence level can grow.
That's true. While one can increase a specific set of knowledge, your general intelligence is set.
Kind of like the processing speed of a computer?
Processing speed? Do what now?
Sorry. Maybe a lot has changed. Anyway, I think your theory, which I love, don't get me wrong, fails to account for the value of instruction.
All right, smart guy. What have you got?
Well, I've come to believe that intelligence has many facets or aspects, and that the traditional intelligence tests only measure a select few.
You mentioned several. How many, specifically?
I've identified 3, though others have expanded that list quite a bit. For me, a person has their practical ability, creative ability, and analytical ability.
I can't believe they let someone like you teach at a university. At least this explains why you're stuck in Oklahoma. Ha ha.
Not funny. Hear me out. The failure in your theory is that you conflate academic intelligence with intelligence itself. But people can be intelligent in all kinds of different ways. A person who is good at adapting to or shaping his or her environment displays tremendous practical ability, even if they do poorly in a traditional academic setting.
Example?
Of course. Surely, we can agree that an intelligent person is one who achieves a personal goal, right?
Agreed.
Well, the student who recognizes that her teacher doesn't like it when students call out in class and stops doing so in order to ensure she can pass her class, has displayed a level of practical intelligence.
This is starting to make a disturbing amount of sense. Go on.
Okay. Another kind of intelligence is the ability to solve unique problems. This can't be measured by a test, because we're talking about a problem that no one has yet come across.
You said 3 factors. What's the third?
There's also the analytical ability, wherein a person can break down complex problems into their parts and make judgments and evaluations.
None of your factors mention memory. Has the ability to remember things gone completely out the window when it comes to measuring intelligence?
Not at all. Memory is an underlying factor for all three facets.
Earlier you said something about how my theory doesn't recognize the value of instruction. Care to elaborate?
My pleasure. When teachers ask students to apply, evaluate, and create knowledge, they are tapping into all three facets of intelligence. This helps students learn more and more deeply.
So, how do you measure this kind of intelligence?
See, here I think you're thinking about this all wrong. Intelligence isn't an innate gift that someone is born with, it's a much broader characteristic of a person. Further, intelligence can't be demonstrated by merely answering some arbitrary questions on a test. It's measured by how well a person functions in different settings and how easily they can adapt their behavior to gain desired results.
Well, that's certainly a lot to think about, Bob. Thanks for coming to see me.
Not at all. I've got one more question for you, Dr. Spearman.
Anything.
If you're dead, why am I the one that looks so old?
I've 2 words for you, Bob. Botox. They give it out up here like Halloween candy.
Charming.